I'm going to attempt in this video to explain to you everything I know about Real, why I love it, why our agents love it, and why it's been an absolute game changer in our business. Before I start, let me disclose, I am not an official representative of the company, I'm just an agent. I love it, I enjoy it, but at the end of the day, I do not officially represent Real. To understand the company, you have to understand our core values. First of all, the one that I love the most is the one that's right here. Work hard, be kind. There is a space in real estate where you can collaborate with other agents. You can build bridges instead of walls. And that's what I found at Real. As we get into the business model, I think it's important to keep in mind, it's all about hard work, it's all about being kind, and it's all about succeeding, not just by yourself, but with the others around you. A year ago, we were introduced to Real Broker, and it really blew our minds. It changed the way we thought about our business and gave us perspective that we could be in a world where we have ownership in a company, we can collaborate with other agents and get revenue share while keeping production as our core business. So the goal of the company is to help you achieve your goals, depending on what your goal is. If your goal is wealth creation, if your goal is collaboration, if your goal is building a bigger business and becoming more successful, then Real would align with your goals. If your goal is be an island, keep to yourself, and be poor, then it probably wouldn't work that well for you. A few facts about the company as I know them. While the company was founded in 2014, it's important to realize that the company's only been in its current business structure for less than 2 years. So about 2 years ago, agent ownership by virtue of stock came around, as well as revenue share model where agents attracting agents get paid revenue for being the attractor. So those things are new to the company. While it existed in 2014, it really didn't start exploding until 2020, until now. At the time of this recording, there's over 4,000 agents in the company. When we joined a year ago, there was less than 2,000. So the company exploded last year. And what's important to realize is while it's a publicly traded company, there's still massive opportunity for belonging to it. So looking into it now, your future self will thank you for doing what you're doing today in evaluating the Real Broker business model. As real estate agents, you know there's a real problem and there are real solutions. So most real estate agents live not paycheck to paycheck, but closing to closing for sure. Real's attempting to solve that problem by giving you, the real estate agent, multiple streams of income. So whoever shared this video with you is somebody who wants you to understand there's a better way to doing business, and we think Real is it. Way number one is keep more commission. So the caps at Real are super friendly, and they're intended to help you put as much money in your pocket as you possibly can, while being a part of a massive nationwide North American company. Number two, not often talked about in real estate, is actually wealth creation. We all have watched Chip and Joanna and Property Brothers do some amazing things and create massive businesses while we're looking for our next listing or buyer. Well, Real has come up with some solutions that'll help you build an actual business rather than living commission check to commission check. Number three, Real deploys state-of-the-art technology. The Real app is solid, transaction coordination app is solid, integration with Chime is great. So Real is always looking for ways not just to solve problems from a human standpoint, but how to leverage technology to help you be more successful. Number four is training and education. So the Real Workplace has thousands of training videos on every single topic you can imagine as a real estate agent. And as one of their trainers and educators, I can tell you, the training's top notch. Number five, here's where I start to get excited, revenue share. All of us who've been at real estate companies for a period of time have attracted agents to the companies with us. If you're at KW or RE/MAX or Coldwell Banker, wherever you are, your friends have said, hey, how do you like your company? And if you've said, I love it, they've come and checked it out, and a lot of times they've joined. Previously, when we owned our independent brokerage, all we were able to do is give people a pat on the back. Real's come up with a much more profitable solution to say, let us give you a pat on the back, which also includes a check on a monthly basis. Number six, supportive community. I've been very vocal about the need for collaboration in real estate for years. Seems like we as real estate agents are obsessed with building walls where we should be building bridges. Real, for lack of a better term, is nothing but a massive bridge building company. The goal is, rather than having a bunch of independent nations, what if we all have bridges to each other's businesses where we can share concepts and ideas and allow us to collaborate in a much broader way than just talking to the person in the cubicle next to you. When you join Real, you join a community of completely collaborative and cooperative agents who are willing to share with you what they're doing well, in return hoping you'll do the same. Number 7 that's not listed up here is agent ownership of the company. I've owned 2 real estate brokerages. They've both been profitable endeavors for me. Neither were publicly traded, and neither was something I could ever share with my agents. With Real, every single agent in our company is a shareholder of the company. When you cap, the company's going to give you stock. When you attract agents, the company again is going to give you stock. When you invest some of your commission in the company will, you guessed it, give you stock. So if you've ever dreamt of owning a real estate company, but are afraid of all the red tape and issues that come with creating a brokerage yourself, Real gives you the opportunity to come in and do what you already do well, which is close deals, but get ownership in the company for doing it. Full disclosure, what I'm about to break down for you on the cap and split scenario is for the United States of America. Canada slightly differs, but what we're talking about here is the US. If a Canadian agent shared this video with you, or if you're in Canada, I would encourage you to reach out to them to say, hey, how does it work for Canada? Or you could text me directly, 702-328-7653, and I'm happy to help. So Real operates on a very basic principle, which is your contribution to the company on an annual basis is capped at $12,000. There's a few one-time or annual fees to consider as well. It's $149 to join, and there's a one-time annual fee of $500 that comes off of your first 2 commissions. So $250 on the first one, $250 on the second one. So think of it this way, when you close a transaction, if you receive a $10,000 commission and you're a solo agent not on a team, then Real will take $1,500 until that $12,000 cap is reached, which should, at an average commission of $10,000, take about 8 transactions to do. Once you've capped, then your fees are very simple. It's $225 a transaction. The transaction fees don't start until after you've capped, so you're either paying 15% on a split or $225 on a transaction fee, depending on your relationship to the cap. One asterisk, you're allowed 3 personal transactions per year, where even if you haven't capped, all you pay is $250. Now the caveat is, these are your personal transactions that you are the buyer or seller of record. So then the question is, how does this work for a team? Well, I run a team and I'm on a $12,000 cap. But for my team members, there are really 2 options, and it all depends on production. So our company is a Platinum Elite team, where because we do so much production on an annual basis, our team member cap is only $4,000 per year. So they are on an 85-15 split with the company until they have paid $4,000 per year. A traditional team, the cap for the team leader is $12,000 and the cap for the team member is $6,000. Now the one caveat there is, in order to be considered a team member, an agent has to contribute at least 25% of their commission each deal to their team leader. Side note, and this is just my opinion, the reason it is that way is to prevent people from calling themselves a team in an attempt to lower their cap, where they're really just a series of independent agents. So if you are a team, you have to be a team, and how they define team is, you have a team leader you give at least 25% of your commission to, or just be a series of independent agents, and that's awesome too. Now this super excites me. While paying a cap is awesome, more important than paying a cap is, what do you get for it? Real is a publicly traded company on the NASDAQ, REAX. If you were to get on the screen time on my phone, you'd see that I open up the stock ticker probably 20 times a day to see where our stock is trading at, because I am a shareholder. Full disclosure, I haven't been a great investor through my career. I've pretty much tried to make as much money as I can and spend a little bit less. So Real gives me the opportunity in multiple ways to acquire stock through my production, through my attraction, and through my own personal investment. So I want to get deeper into those details with you, but just let you know, this is super exciting. All right, wealth building tip number 1. How does Real stock benefit you in the stock purchase plan? So at the date of this recording, we're still under 5,000 agents. Keep in mind, the stock plan does change once we hit 5,000 agents. So I'll talk about it before and I'll talk about it after. Before you cap, Real will allow you to contribute 5% of your commission to the stock purchase plan, at which time they will bonus you 25%. So if I put in $1,000 worth of shares, they're going to give me $250 worth of shares as a bonus. So my $1,000 buys $1,250 worth of shares. Post capping, it's a 50% match. So for every $1,000 I put in, they put in $500 match. So my $1,000 buys me $1,500. Now keep in mind, this is capped. I'm not allowed to put infinite amounts in, and I'm restricted in two ways. Number one, pre-cap, I can only put in 5%. Post-cap, I can only put in 10%. And number two, there is a maximum annual contribution of $18,400. But if you run the math, that $18,400 turns into $24,000 and some odd dollars worth of stock, because the 25% pre-cap and 50% post-cap averages out to about 33% stock bonus. For any of you that have ever worked for a company before that does stock incentives, you'll know that the average is 2 to 3%. So 33% right now is insane. Now let's talk about once we hit 5,000 agents. Once we hit 5,000 agents, the stock match decreases. So you're still 5% pre-cap and 10% post-cap. The difference being your award is 15% on top of your 5% pre-cap and 30% post-cap. So 15% pre-cap, 30% post-cap. So they'll still allow you to invest. They'll still match you at an astronomical amount, but it's decreased from 25 and 50 to 15 and 30. Still a great deal. So while we are in that 4,000 to 6,000 agent bracket, this is how the capping award works. When you reach your cap, if you're a full cap agent, you get 500 shares of stock granted to you. Now obviously that depends on the price of the month that you cap. So for example, if you cap in May, your award will be based on the value of the stock at the end of May. It'll be issued to you June 15th. So for easy math, if the stock is trading at $3 and you get 500 shares, you would technically have $1,500 award given to you on June 15th. Now as the stock goes up to $4, all of a sudden you're sitting at a $2,000 value. As the stock grows, so does your wealth. Now, you also get shares of stock when you attract agents. As it is right now, for a full capping agent you attract, when they close their first deal, you get 250 shares of stock. For a half cap agent or someone that joins your team, you get 125 shares of stock. So again, that depends on the value at the end of the month in which it happened, and it will be granted the 15th of the following month. Now keep in mind, the capping and attracting awards have a 3-year vesting period. So the good news is you're going to get your money. The 3-year vesting period means you're going to get your money in 3 years. So you aren't able to sell or transfer or do anything with these stocks for a 3-year period. Now for an agent that does about 40 units of production a year, this is super exciting. So the Elite Agent Award is amazing. Here's how you can get your annual cost for belonging to the brokerage pretty close to zero. So let's talk about it. In order to reach elite status, you need to do two things. Number one, you have to pay a full 12K cap. And number two, you have to pay $6,000 in post-capping transactions, which takes about 27 transactions. So it'll take you about 8 transactions to cap, depending on value, and about 27 transactions to pay $6K in transaction fees. So if you could do 35 to 40 deals a year, then you will probably reach elite status. Now here's the award for reaching elite status. They're going to grant you $16,000 worth of stock in exchange for you becoming an elite agent. So if you think about the fact that you paid $18,000 in, 12K in a cap, and 6K in transaction fees, now they're giving you back $16,000. So your net cost for belonging to the brokerage at that point is only $2,000. Your transaction fee decreases from $225 a transaction down to $100 per file. Now there's another way to not only get you at net pretty close to zero, but to get you at a positive every single year, and here's how you do it. Once you reach elite status, they want you to be involved in the community. The reality is they want you to be involved in the community all along. So for someone who reaches elite status, what they want you to do is they want you to teach a class once a month, currently being done virtually on our workplace. So if you are doing that much business, chances are you have something worthy of sharing with others. So if you're willing to hop in on a monthly basis and teach a class in Workplace, they're going to grant you an additional $8,000 worth of stock for being an elite agent who is also a contributor. So now your $18,000 paid into the company comes back in the form of $24,000 worth of stock. Now what gets me really excited is my $24,000 worth of stock at $2 a share. What happens when it goes to $4,000 a share? Now my $18,000 paid in becomes $48,000 worth of stock, which is an absolute no-brainer. At that point, I'm way ahead, 20,000 plus ahead of the game, just by belonging to a brokerage that gives me ownership in it for doing what I already do, which is produce. Now this is something really cool. I've owned brokerages before and I've ran P&Ls, but I've never been able to give my agents instant image of what their production looks like, and I've never actually been able to do it myself either. So with Real's proprietary app, I'm able to get in there and see a whole bunch of things. Number one, where am I at annually for my production? How much money have I made this year? How much have I paid toward the cap? How much in post-capping transaction fees, and how close to elite status am I? And then the other two things we're about to get into, how many agents are in my network and how much money am I due the 15th of the next month through revenue share. So the proprietary app is amazing. And the technical team, led by my guy Pritesh at Real, is amazing. They're building some really cool products that are changing the way we as agents visualize our daily production, monthly production, annual production, and all of those things, and they're delivering it in a super clean way. Now let's talk about revenue share. Again, in the past, owning brokerages, it's always been a pat on the back when someone brings their friend to the company. What Real wants to do is say, we're not gonna give out gold jackets, we're not gonna run radio commercials, we're not gonna create billboards. We want the lives of our agents, they're working hard and being kind, the happiness that they have with the company, to be the marketing engine. So what Real does is it says, when you bring an agent into the company, when you're their sponsor, a portion of their commission and what they pay the company goes to you. So Real's revenue share model is 5 levels deep. And when I say levels, it can sound a little bit like an MLM. The reality is every single business where people are compensated for the actions of others technically is a multi-tiered compensation company. But the cool thing about Real is you're not being asked to sell pens or vitamins or knives or anything like that. The reality is revenue share is granted to the sponsors and the sponsor sponsors and the sponsor 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 for 5 levels deep as the company continues to build itself out. All right, let's talk about math. Here's how it works. For every agent you sponsor into the company, you get 5% of everything they do until they cap. So if they close 8 $10,000 commissions, you would get $500 each time that takes place until they cap. The total per year is $4,000 per agent that you directly sponsor into the company. Now, it doesn't stop there, because as that agent attracts an agent, then you're able to get 4%. So $10,000 commission would pay you $400. Max on that ends up being about $3,200 a year. For tier 3 agents brought in by an agent of an agent that you brought in, you would get 3% of their production, $300 per 10,000 commission, or in other words, $2,800 per year. So for your tier 3, an agent who brings an agent who brings an agent, you would get $2,400 per year, 3% of their production until they cap. On every single deal they close, you get a little check. Now tier 4, you're probably not going to know a lot about these people, but the company still pays you 2% of their production, or in other words, $200 for every 10,000 earned, or in other words, $1,600 per year. So tier 5, you get 1% of their production, $800 per year max for every agent brought in by an agent you brought, who brought 5 levels deep. Now, while there are other business models out there, brokerages that run on a multi-tiered compensation plan, what I love so much about Real's plan is the focus is very much on your tier 1. Who do you know that you can collaborate with and build with that you can help each other to be more successful? So 5% is being paid on your tier 1. There's other models where you're actually paid more for your deeper levels. What I love so much about Real is my focus is, who can I collaborate with? Who can I bring into the company on my tier 1 that I can actually make a difference in their world? Real's going to pay me the most for that relationship. Now let's talk about unlocking tiers. The reality is you unlock tiers as you get wider on your tier 1. So your tier 1 is unlocked with a single agent. So you sponsor an agent, you're able to receive revenue share so long as you're active with the company. Being deemed active with the company is closing at least one transaction for every 6 months. So now how do you unlock tier number 2? That happens when you get 10 agents wide on your first tier. Unlocking tier 3, you probably guessed it, 15 agents wide on your first tier. Level 4 is 20 agents wide. And level 5, 25 agents wide on your first tier will unlock all 5 levels of compensation. In order for you to stay unlocked, all 25 agents will have to close a deal every 6 months. Now the cool thing is, the company deems them active from the day they join the company. So as long as they close a deal within their first 6 months, they're still active in your network. So to date, you can see most of North America is already unlocked. What I love so much about Real is it's to some degree new opportunity. A lot of the agents in America and in Canada haven't even heard that we exist. So the person that shared this video with you, or you found it yourself on YouTube or whatever, you have a massive opportunity to build something amazing. I don't know when we will hit critical mass, but I know we're not there now. There's just over 4,000 agents in the company and a few states that aren't even open yet. So as you look at this opportunity, as you work with the individual that introduced you to this, just keep in mind, this creates a massive opportunity for you moving forward to build something massive, because the reality is most of your friends in the real estate industry don't even know we exist yet. Who you work with matters. Build your future with Real. Whoever sent you this video, or if you got it from me, I want to build with you. So the reality is our community is amazing. We've been to Mexico, we've been to Vegas, we've been all over the country hosting events and helping people do more production. The one thing you'll see from me, if you ever come in contact with me, is recruiting agents is not my jam. My jam is helping agents be more productive, closing more deals. The cool thing is Real gives you a built-in side hustle of saying, I want to make a little bit of revenue share. I want to get some ownership in this company, but that's the side hustle. Paramount is still production. So talk to the agent that sent you this video, or if you'd like to, connect with me directly, 702-328-7653. Just shoot me a text and say, hey man, I saw your video, I'm curious about Real. Or respond to the person that's saying this video and say, hey, I've got a couple more questions, can we talk? Chances are they're going to be super excited, I know I would be, to have a conversation with you about why Real was an absolute no-brainer for us to transition our entire brokerage over to, and why I think it's a great opportunity for you as well. Have a great day.